Source: Deposit Photos, ID. They have increasing responsibilities at school and at home, their social lives are expanding, their independence is growing, and they're making plans for their future. Adolescence is a time of significant maturation, physical, emotional, intellectual. Sleep fuels these important processes. Good, plentiful sleep is essential to teens' development, growth, and quality of life. Yet all too often, teens don't get enough sleep. Their hectic routines, their inexperience managing their time and making healthy choices, and the often sleep-unfriendly schedule of the world around them put teens at high risk for sleep deprivation. According to research, very few teens, as little as 15%, are getting the sleep that they need. Short on sleep, teens face challenges to their health, their safety, their performance, and their ability to learn. Teens are wolves. Chronotypes change throughout lifetimes, especially during childhood and adolescence. Teens' internal clocks run on different biotime than most adults' clocks do. Teens are almost always wolves, the late chronotype that prefers afternoon and evening activity to mornings. During adolescence, teens experience a biological shift to a later sleep-wake cycle. For teens, melatonin release occurs later in the evening, usually around 11 p.m., and drops later in the morning. This biological shift to a wolf chronotype explains why your teenager is full of energy and enthusiasm later in the day and evening, but can barely mumble a greeting or match his own socks first thing in the morning. Teens' wolf-like biotime, also known as delayed sleep syndrome, puts teens at odds with typical schedules, especially with their early morning school start times. In recent years, there's been some movement to change this disconnect between teenagers' natural biological schedule and their school schedule. Schools around the country have begun to consider adopting later school start times. A growing body of research indicates the benefits of later school times for teenagers. Studies have found that when teens start school later, sleep amounts rise significantly. Teens don't stay up later at night when their school start times change. Teens get better grades, fewer students seek help from counselors and nurses, sick days and tardiness decrease. Parents report their teenagers are easier to live with and more connected in their relationships at home. Car accidents among teen drivers drop significantly. What parents can do: educate yourself about sleep. The National Sleep Foundation publishes a Sleep for Teens toolkit that lays out issues related to teen sleep and school start times. One of the most important ways you can help your teen sleep better is to understand yourself. Why sleep is so important. Share what you learn. Talk to your teen's school administration, to teachers and parents, and to the local community about the importance of sleep and the special sleep needs of teenagers. Advocate for sleep education in schools, for both educators and students. How much sleep do teenagers need? Teens need between 8 to 10 hours of nightly sleep to meet their needs and to perform at their best during their waking days. Because their bodies are biologically programmed to stay up late, it can be difficult for teens to get this much rest on a routine basis. The National Sleep Foundation estimates that only about 85% of teenagers are sleeping less than 8.5 hours a night. It's common for children to develop inconsistent sleep schedules during adolescence. Up late at night, and up early during the school week, many teens sleep late on weekends, as a way to recover from the sleep debt they've accrued. But sleeping late on weekends only reinforces and enhances the delay in their bio clock, and makes it more difficult for them to fall asleep at a reasonable hour during the week. This erratic sleep schedule puts teens in a vicious cycle, in which they spend the week coping with a growing sleep debt, struggling to stay alert during the day, growing more and more tired as the week goes along. By the weekend, they're exhausted and ready to sleep in, and the cycle begins all over again. What can parents do? Work with your teen to help them stay on a consistent schedule throughout the week and weekend. Set a bedtime and wake time that allows them to get the nightly sleep they need. Every teen will be different, so pay attention to signs of sleep deprivation and adjust their targeted sleep amount accordingly. On the weekends, it's okay to let teens sleep in a little bit. An extra 30 minutes or an hour won't throw off their bio clocks, and won't leave them wide awake at midnight on Sunday evening. But keep the weekend sleep-ins to no more than 60 minutes of additional rest. Why sleep matters for teens. For teenagers, sleep is nothing less than fuel that powers their brain and its development. Sleep is a biological necessity and essential for health and daily functioning. It's as important as a healthy diet and regular physical activity. At all stages of life, the brain is active during sleep, consolidating memories and processing emotions, refreshing cells and clearing out buildup of waste materials that can slow or damage brain function. There's still a lot we don't know yet about what's happening in the brain during sleep, and why, in adolescence, the brain is still developing, and sleep is essential to healthy brain development. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for complex thinking,